have to do something now because tomorrow might be too late.
Seeing Ukrainians united here in San Diego, what local loved ones have to say about their family members in Ukraine now.
Live near a train station and you expect noise, but Encinitas residents say what's happening here is illegal.
On this Black History Month, the impact of heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali's visit to San Diego still felt nearly 50 years later.
And if you're planning a big party, the people in Descanso are friendly, and so are their prices to rent out their town hall.
And the latest controversy surrounding the Wordle craze. CBS 8 News live at 6 starts now. Tonight, the world is holding its breath in what's being called the largest attack on a European country since World War II. Good evening, I'm Jesse Pagan.
And I'm Heather Myers. Carlo and Marcella are both off. Tonight, local Ukrainians are now rallying for peace as they are watching as Ukraine is invaded by Russia.
As CBS 8's Heather Hope shows us, many gathered outside the county administration building today, and others are in Santee tonight for a prayer vigil.
Gathering here in Santee at the future site of a Ukrainian Catholic church, Ukrainian Americans here say they are praying for peace.
Ukraine wants peace.
Ina Zozuliak stood united in downtown San Diego with dozens of Ukrainian Americans near the county administration building, hoping this rally for Ukraine makes a difference.
If Ukraine is not successful in fighting off this attack, we just have to think about what's going to happen next.
Ina says she is worried about her niece and sister in Ukraine.
It's very scary. It's very scary because even talking to them, I mean, I can hear the sirens, I can hear the blasts.
Ina immigrated from Ukraine 20 years ago and lives in San Diego with her daughter. She fears if the U.S. doesn't take stronger actions against Russia, more attacks on her home country will happen.
It's very sort of primal fear. You know, it's not just like something's going to happen, uncertainty. I mean, they've lived in that for a long time, in that uncertainty. Right now, it's fear for your life.
Ina says she and other local Ukrainians find peace in being together.
Stop killing Ukrainians!
Sergei Tridid has lived in the U.S. for 10 years, but fears for his family in Ukraine.
We need more support. We're just desperate. It's so hard to see and being helpless when you see all my relatives and all my friends are now being in the basement and sending this to me. I didn't sleep this whole night.
Sergei says his sister's home was just destroyed in Kyiv.
My sister was her kid is just in the bomb shelter right now.
Heartbroken as he gets text messages from his sister, Sergei says he is shocked his home country is at war.
She's saying that we are waiting for the missile from the airplanes right now. And this is 21st century. How could this happen?
The group of Ukrainian Americans banded together holding flags and signs.
Stand for Ukraine!
Stand for Ukraine!
Then on the sidewalk, they all sang the Ukrainian national anthem. Tatiana was the only Russian American among the group.
Many Russians don't support Putin.
Tatiana says her family is impacted and scared of the war.
I have many friends and their family in Ukraine, and I'm scary about them.
In addition to the events today, tomorrow Ukrainian Americans plan to meet at the House of Ukraine in Balboa Park at 7 p.m. Heather Hope, CBS 8.
Heather, thank you. Worldwide condemnation pouring in hours after Russia began what the U.S. is calling the initial phase of a full-scale invasion of Ukraine.
President Joe Biden is also announcing tough new sanctions on more Russian banks and imports. As Natalie Brand tells us, he's stopping short of sanctioning Russian President Vladimir Putin himself.
Ukrainian officials say Russian forces have taken control of the Chernobyl power plant hours after launching its invasion. The Pentagon says Russia has already fired roughly 100 missiles targeting Ukraine's military infrastructure and highly populated residential areas.
Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences.
After meetings with his national security team and then G7 world leaders, President Biden unveiled what he describes as unprecedented sanctions against Russia.
We estimate that we'll cut off more than half of Russia's high-tech imports. It'll strike a blow to their ability to continue to modernize their military. It'll degrade their aerospace industry, including their space program.
Meanwhile, NATO says it will activate defense plans to protect its eastern flank. A U.S. defense official says around 7,000 additional U.S. troops will deploy to Germany. President Biden says he will not send U.S. forces into Ukraine. They are there to shore up NATO, though the U.S. has sent hundreds of millions of dollars in military equipment to help Ukrainians defend their country.
We do not expect anyone to fight for us, but we expect all the help and all the response the West can send to us.
U.S. forces in Poland have set up camps to receive refugees from Ukraine, while loved ones here in the U.S. fear for their safety.
It's painful to see my family being on both sides, being in Ukraine and being in Russia.
Demonstrators took to the streets around the U.S. to stand in solidarity with Ukraine. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Members of Congress from both sides of the aisle have been largely united in their condemnation of Russian President Vladimir Putin. They received an unclassified briefing from top Biden administration officials this afternoon.
2 people were hurt this afternoon when a skydiving plane crash landed short of the runway at the Oceanside Municipal Airport. Both the pilot and the passenger went to the hospital. We're working to find out how they're doing tonight. No one else was on board the plane. 2 men accused of a deadly shooting outside a Miramar bar last Saturday pleaded not guilty in court today. One of them is 22-year-old Damani Wiltshire-Beal, an active-duty Marine stationed at MCAS Miramar. The other is 23-year-old Samuel Perez. Police say Wiltshire-Beal and Perez shot and killed Kyle DeLangel in a fight outside the bar. The judge ordered Wiltshire-Beal held without bail. Meanwhile, Perez is being released without bail pending another court date.
Health tonight reporting 870 new COVID-19 cases. 2 more people have died from COVID-related complications. The county's death toll surpassed 5,000 yesterday. The number of positive COVID patients in the hospital continues to decrease, though. 532 people are right now hospitalized in the county tonight. That's down from 562 yesterday. Moderna is testing a new COVID-19 booster shot. It combines an Omicron-specific vaccine with the company's original COVID-19 vaccine. Moderna says there could be data available as early as next month. Pfizer has been working on a similar Omicron-specific vaccine, but FDA officials say it's not clear if a vaccine that targets only Omicron will be needed.
Most Americans could be mask-free while they're out and about this weekend. The CDC is expected to, quote, significantly loosen mask-wearing guidelines tomorrow. 2 people familiar with the matter tell the Associated Press it means the CDC will stop advising most people wear masks in indoor public areas. LA County is also expected to lift its indoor mask mandate for people who are fully vaccinated starting tomorrow. New state funds will help tackle the homelessness crisis in San Diego. Today, Governor Gavin Newsom announced a $50 million grant that aims at helping cities and counties across the state better provide shelter or housing for people living in encampments. Also today, more than 1,100 volunteers walked throughout San Diego County to take a yearly survey of how many people are in shelters and on the streets. The annual homeless count is spearheaded by the Regional Task Force on Homelessness. The results are then used to apply for federal and state funding to help the people on the streets.
What we saw this morning is a humanitarian crisis. There are so many people out there on our sidewalks. We have to solve widespread homelessness that we have in San Diego today.
The results of this year's homeless count will be available in the spring.
The puppy that was stolen from its owner's Grant Hill front yard on Valentine's Day, remember it was caught on camera? Well, this little puppy's finally back home.
Oh, look at him. The 6-month-old pug named Bridget was returned to her family yesterday. They tell us they got a tip that the man caught on camera taking the puppy was at a local liquor store down the road. So they went to confirm, and he was there, and they followed him home about a block away. There, they confronted him and asked for Bridget back. After he was told about the security video that he was captured in, he finally handed the puppy over.
Because she's home. You know, she's a baby, and we just got her not that long ago for my mom's birthday, and so it just feels good to have her home.
The family says because the man returned the puppy, the city attorney says the case is essentially closed.
Oh, the puppy looks happy to be back.
As she does.
Running around the yard.
Yes.
Cute.